Hello, everybody, and welcome to Impact Podcast. We are so happy to be here on today. We have a special guest, so we're going to just start off and allow you to introduce yourself.
My name is Mona Gray. I am the owner of Clear the Gray Coaching. I am a boundaries, personal growth, and empowerment coach. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, and then, yeah.
I'm Christian. I'm happy to be here today. I'm happy we have our guest here, and we're excited to get this podcast up and going. And let's see our fun.
My name is Darren. I'm glad to be back here with y'all.
Yes.
All right. I had a icebreaker question. So, if you had to choose which miracle would you want to experience or witness? And the first one, walking on water. The second one, Lazarus being raised from the dead, or the Red Sea splitting.
So, obviously, they're all amazing.
Yes.
But I'm going to say Lazarus, and that's only because, well, not only because, but I literally, on my way here, was like reading that scripture this morning. And it was amazing how, like, first of all, like, just that dude, right? Right? For him to be like, let me go to soon. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Right.
Lazarus, gonna get up. Like,
Right.
let's go.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're like, but there for 4 days, and you
Right.
know it's gonna smell. And he's like, I got, you know, like pretty
Right.
much like I got this,
I'm
you know. So that would be something that I would be like mouth, jaw wide open, like I can't believe this man has just raised another man from the dead.
Right.
So definitely that one.
Yes.
And you said which one? Like, did it have to be the ones you listed, or just anyone?
I mean, it could be anyone if you don't want to do these three. Just which miracle would you want to either experience or just witness it?
I would say witness the either Daniel in the lion's den
Oh.
or Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego
Yeah. Yeah.
into the fire furnace. I'd be like, how they not burn up in there?
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know. I'll go. I think if we're not going off of this, I would like to see that giant fall, David with the slingshot. 'Cause he had a smooth stone, and like I just wanted to see. That would be cool to see that.
Then you imagine like this little old guy and this
Right.
big old thing.
Right,
fall
he just
down,
falls,
like,
you know.
crazy.
Well, me, I'd like to see when Christ was resurrected, man. Like, you just doing your thing. Like, oh, man, what we going to do now? And then all of a sudden, he just appeared to you. And it's like, wow, man, that's amazing. It's done.
Producers, everything. Okay.
And what's the next question for you?
Okay. So the next question we have you always been interested in entrepreneurship? And how did you, I'm sorry, I got to get it. I'm not usually asking the questions first. Let me get it together. Have you always been interested in entrepreneurship? And how did you know God was leading you towards it?
No,
Oh, okay.
not always interested in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Like whatsoever. I honestly didn't understand why I just couldn't be pretty and have a lot of money. Like I didn't understand that. It sometimes it still baffles me. Like why couldn't that be my only job? No, okay, just kidding. But no, I didn't. I wanted to be a television broadcaster when I was growing up. And when I had y'all know my daughter Cheyenne. When I had Cheyenne, I was just like, oh well, life is over. Like the camera's gonna add 20 pounds. Like my life is over. I'm not gonna be able to follow that dream anymore, right? And so after I devoted my life to be a mom, and once they got grown, I was like, okay, well, what am I gonna do now? Like my job of being a mom is done. Like I have nothing else. And so I was just like, Lord, I need help. Like I need direction. I don't know where to go. Like I have 3 different degrees. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I got a paralegal degree, a human resources degree, an MBA,
Wow.
right? Right.
Yeah.
Your girl couldn't make up her mind, right? And well, not even I couldn't make up my mind. I didn't pray about it. Not a smart move. So I have all this student loan debt because I couldn't make up my mind, right? And I finally said, okay, I want to be able to still talk, still be in front of the camera, and help people at the same time, right? And I've always said as a kid that God has had his hands on me because of all the things that I went through in my life, right? But he still kept me, right? And I remember being a kid saying, I can handle their problems. Like, I'm strong enough to handle everybody's problems, because a lot of people would come to me and talk to me and I would help them. And I just felt like I could take everybody's problems away, right? I just felt like my shoulders were big enough to take people's problems and help them. And I would hold it for them and handle it for them, right? And so I, praying about it. And he literally said that it was time for me to come from behind the shadows. Because now, don't get me wrong, even though I like to be in front of the camera, it took a while for that to happen again, because I fell into insecurity, and I'm just like, who's gonna want to hear from me? I'm like an almost 50-year-old woman. Who's gonna want to hear from me, right? But he said, nope, it's time for you to come from behind the shadows. Because I'm like, I'm good playing the background, right? But it was time for me to come from behind the shadows, and so that's where Clear the Gray came from. And I was like, okay, I like it. Like, let's go. Now I need you to move me and tell me where to go, because I didn't know where to go.
And I had a quick question, if you don't mind. Speaking of that, how did you overcome? Because I'm in that situation right now. I'm like, I'm cool. I don't gotta be on camera necessarily. So how did you get over that hump of talking and just looking at a camera, basically talking to no one? You know what I'm saying?
No, it's hard. I'm not even gonna front. And like, sometimes I still get stuck. Sometimes I call it that procrastination spirit. I'll get that a lot, right? Or I wait to the very last minute to do stuff because I'm like, oh, I know I got to do it. When in actuality, I had all this time to sit there and prepare for it. Now I'm actually forced to do it, right? But then I started looking at it as, okay, God gave me this. He gave me this idea. Who am I to disrespect my Father for giving me such a grand idea? And if I give it back to him and let him lead it, then everything is going to be okay. But if I try to do it my way, then it's not going to happen, right? So I looked at it as me being disrespectful to him for him giving me an idea and him saying, this is what you're going to do. And I'm just like, who am I to say, I don't want to do that?
That's a good way to look at it.
So I ain't trying to disrespect my dad now.
But you make it look natural. That's the good thing about it. So it fits in, definitely.
I feel like just as you were talking, like all those different things you said that you were trying to figure out your way, and I guess through it, maybe you didn't see, but maybe it was just a way of God preparing you. He allowed, like, all the stuff he allowed you to do, he's still using it. You know what I mean? Because you can use those things. It may not be in the way you thought, but it could be for your good, which is for others.
I had to realize that as well, And again, I was stuck on my age, right? I was stuck on, girl, you about to be 50 in a couple months. Like, one, who wants to hear from you at 50? Two, what you gonna do? I kept saying, your life is almost over. That's what you know what I'm saying? So that was like the trick of the enemy saying, girl, your life is almost over. No, nobody's going to want to hear from you. You're not going to be great. You're not going to be able to do any of those type of things, right? And I had to kind of like be like, okay, back up. Like that, exactly. Like, cause no, I'm still young.
Moses was 80. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yes.
Abraham was 99?
Exactly. And when you actually start getting into the word and actually listening and actually like understanding, because I always pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding when I'm reading the Bible, right? Because I remember, like, even as a kid or even in my younger years, I would read the Bible and be like, I didn't understand nothing I just read, and I'm also a very audio person, right? So I'm like, okay, well, if I can't understand it by reading it, maybe listening to it. And I love stories, right? I love hearing stories. I was one of those kids, like, you could tell me a story and I would like fall asleep, right? Because it's very relaxing. And so if I am not reading it, I'm listening to it, right? And that's how now I'm like gaining that knowledge. Like, I remember that. Like, I remember this in the book, and I remember Moses did this, or and I'm like, wait a minute. Half of the stuff they didn't really do until they got older.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's my time now.
And sometimes, too, you might not have been mature enough to do it back then,
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's that wisdom and everything like that. I had a small question before we got on to the next thing. I don't know what y'all was about to ask, but What was your best piece of advice to give someone that's starting to give up on what their goals are, or because they're getting too old, or they're getting past, like, let's say that the journey was taking longer than you expected? What's the best piece of advice you can give someone that's dealing with that?
Don't, honestly, and I know as cliche as it sounds, don't give up. Regret will haunt you, period. You know, I look back at being a 25-year-old mom of 2 kids, right? And I didn't have someone in my life to say, you could still do it. You know, when I had Cheyenne, my life was over. I'm like, well, life is over. I'm a mom now. I got to give up. You know, I had no one to sit there and tell me, you can still do it. I would have rathered, now that I look back, I would have rathered started and failed, than to never start and never fail to be able to start again, because I didn't understand that I can start, stop, fail, start, fail. You know what I mean? And then sitting there and just saying, okay, here's an idea. I got to wait till it gets perfect. It's not going to get perfect. It's always going to be changes that you can make.
Exactly.
It's always going to be something, but you got to keep going. You literally have to keep going. As cliche as that sounds, you have to keep going.
I feel like I blew past this, but can you just tell everybody what Clear the Gray is, what your career is, all the great things about you?
Whew. So my regular 9 to 5 is I am the director of business development for a psychiatric hospital, and so I'm very big on mental health. So I literally go to hospitals, I go to of professionals. I go to psychiatrist's office. I go to regular doctor's offices. I go to schools, community events, just to kind of bring awareness to mental health, and to let them know that, you know, we may possibly have beds available for somebody who may need time out. Pretty much, that's how I look at it. So that's my 9 to 5. And then I'm a travel business owner, but Clear the Gray is it's a life coaching company that I started to help people clear the gray areas of their life, right? So a lot of times we are stuck in the past. We can never move to the future, to our future goals, because something in the middle is causing us to be afraid and not being able to move to that point. So I don't necessarily tell them what to do to get to that part, but I help them figure out what they are, clear that gray area of their life so that they can move to a brighter future. I help them where their focus turns into a brighter future.
I like that.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And okay, so next question. I don't know if one of y'all want to ask the next question.
I'll ask it.
This,
Let's see.
yeah, you could choose whichever one you want.
So you were saying you have all these different hats that you wear. So just let us know, how do you balance church responsibilities, work, business ventures, or whatever you may be involved with? How do you balance everything?
Yeah, I also forgot to add that I swear I got more than 24 hours a day. I don't know how I do it, honestly. But I also work at a gym. Crazy as I do. A couple hours out of a day. I get up at 3:30 in the morning and I go work at a gym. I know. I don't know. I'm just amazing. But anywho,
Trying to get like you.
Listen, honestly, I had to learn how to time management was something like super serious, right? I had to cut out a lot of stuff that was just killing time. Laying on the couch watching my favorite show is The Office. I know, but laying on the couch watching The Office, it's so funny. On the couch watching The Office for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. On TikTok for hours and hours and hours, just kind of like just watching, scrolling, not even posting, like really just scrolling.
Yeah.
And I was realizing that all that time I was just doing wasted activities during all this time that I could be productive. I had to cut a lot of those things out. And I'm so proud of myself because I said, so during this fast, I had to cut out TikTok. That thing was hard, y'all. You would think it would be easy, but no, it was like really hard. And I'm actually really proud of myself because I'm like, nope, you're not going to get on TikTok. Look at other people's stuff. So it was really, really just time management, cutting out a lot of the nonsense that I was doing, where I can be, reading my scripture and, and okay, taking the time out, and usually I be really using my calendar. Okay, I have 24 hours in a day. I know I need this much sleep in order to function. I know I have to work. My job is flexible because I do work from home.
Okay.
And so, I know that I can do my job in this amount of hours. And, so I just started carving out a certain amount of time and sticking to that plan. Now, as far as church goes, that goes before anything, right? So I try my hardest to never miss a Sunday. I try not my hardest unless something absolutely happens. I try not to, not be in the building now that we could be in buildings,
Right.
And so, helping First Lady, I always let her know that comes first. Like, that is my first true enjoyment. And then everything else just comes just based on how I set the day as far as the hours.
So I guess what I'm getting out of everything is like planning.
Planning. If you what's the
planning.
saying? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
to
If you
fail.
plan to fail, if you plan, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That saying.
And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's so true.
And I agree with that, especially with the scheduling and everything. That's not the main alarm. That's a different alarm. Okay, but with the scheduling and everything, when it comes down to like so much, especially me being a student and having a job and, being here at church, being a minister and everything like that, the thing about planning is if you, like you said, with putting your church life in Christ first, you can tell where people's heart really is, if you really want to seek a relationship with Christ, you will make ways to be at church, because it's some things that I have sacrificed. I'm pretty sure you have too, where I've sacrificed more money. I've sacrificed, certain things I could have done at school. Like I was just at school yesterday, and I had to put off something because it was a meeting I couldn't be at today, and I put it off because I wanted to be here for the podcast and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's just certain things. You can tell where somebody's heart is by where they spend their time. And that's why I'm like, for all the people watching this, when just use some of this piece of advice. If you're really trying to make God a priority in your life and you're really trying to balance work, for me, school, and whatever you might be doing, just make sure God is number one in your life.
So true.
And, and one thing to that is, if you put him first, he's going to make everything else fall right in line.
Yeah.
Seek ye
Like,
first.
yes, we really do not have to figure it out on our own. We make it so difficult to just have organization. If you're like, okay, I remember always waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, Lord, if you want to talk to me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I need you to make sure that I'm not tired for that 8 o'clock job, But he always made sure that I was good. I wasn't super tired. I was able to successfully complete my day. It was me adding on that extra stuff, that sitting for hours watching TV, that sitting and scrolling on social media for hours and hours and hours, that I became extra tired. So if you put him first and and ask him just to manage your day, I promise you, your day will be so great.
Good. Let's see.
And
Okay.
We have about 7 more minutes. So
Okay, let's see. So in the Bible, there are women who were honorable and love God. Are there any women or descriptions of women in the Bible that you admire or aspire to be like? I know that's a loaded question, but
It is.
take your time.
Nobody really ever talks about her. And I remember having this question before, and I'm trying to remember like why. But it was Hannah, right? And again, nobody really, they skip over her. But she was kind of like the stepchild, right? And I kind of always looked at myself as the person from behind, right? The person who would receive. I didn't care about the accolades or being in the front. I wanted to be a part, and she had a big role, in the Bible. And I don't care about the accolades. I just want to play my part. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that part may be, whatever God has me to do, even if it's very, very small, it's small, but it's significant. I just want to be able to play my part, even if it is from the background. Even though lately it hasn't been. Like, I've literally been on 3 podcasts this week. I'm like,
Wow.
how crazy is that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to, I'm like, I'm willing. I just want to play my part.
Yeah, because if Hannah didn't play her role, man, wouldn't even have King David, man, if you think about it, you know.
He was the line, the lineage that led to
Exactly.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those small little setbacks and just how she urged to push on to what she really wanted, you know what I'm saying, praying to God for what she wanted, it actually ushered in something much bigger than herself.
Like, you know, the silent prayers or the I don't have to be out in front of everybody to make a big difference, you know. I can sit from the back and pray for people, and you know, and I do it a lot. You know, I've gotten to the habit of making sure if I say I'm gonna pray for you, I literally try to stop right then and there, and I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not praying in front of everybody, but I do say a prayer for them because I don't want to be looked at as a liar, right? So I try to make sure, because you know, by the time we get home, we forget.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
exactly.
forgot about to pray about the person, but just be in the background, like I said, and just even the small little parts. I just want to play my part. That's all.
Okay, I have two more. I'm gonna try to
Two
make
more.
it quick.
Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So, how has your faith impacted the way you operate your business and your career?
Definitely need faith.
Definitely.
Because you're not going to be rich the first year. The second year, the third year, you really don't start seeing anything until like maybe the fourth or fifth year, honestly, right? Unless God literally was the one who said, boop, here's all of this, right? You have to have faith because of that. Because you're going to want to give up. You don't see you're not being, you don't see any fruit. Like, I'm planting all these seeds, I'm doing all this extra stuff, and I'm seeing nothing, and you want to give up. When we don't see the fruits of our labor, we want to give up, right? But you have to know that that God gave me this gift, and I know that He's in it. I know He's walking me through it. It's going to happen. But I have to keep praying. I'm like, Lord, okay, you know I'm getting tired.
Right.
Help me keep on keeping on. But, yeah.
And what I've noticed too, God will come in like at the right moment
Listen.
and just give you one little nugget. It might even just be a little sentence to just encourage you enough to just be like, all right, I'm gonna keep going and renew you. You know what I'm saying?
Like that battery jolt.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as He see me going down, He be like,
Exactly. For me, sometimes it's the word. Like, I know a pastor, he preaches, but like he might say one thing and it resonates with me, and then I can remember it I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And I look back at my notes. Okay, all right.
Yes.
That one thing still applies, and it applies to this moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, same thing for business. You already know.
Yeah.
I'm sure
It's
you
true.
know too.
I remember one Bible study. I came to Bible study, and pastor said, I can't remember the whole thing. The only thing that I remember him saying was, you got to sit still, right? And that wasn't me. Like, if I didn't see something happen right then and there, I was on to the next thing. Why do you think I got 3 different degrees, right? And if I didn't see it happen right then and there, I would keep it moving, right? But because he said, and the night before, I had got that word, right? Well, I heard, and I was like, I don't know if that was it. But when I got the Bible study, and he repeated it word for word, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and sit still. And because of that, because I recognized it and I understood it right then and there, because I know me, I will move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing. And it was like, okay, sit still.
Yeah.
And I sat still, and things are just starting to flow.
Being patient and like listening to the Lord.
Yep.
That's really good. Do you want to ask the last question? It's
Let me
really
see.
really quick.
Okay, so hold on.
No, you
Did you
got-
keep on cutting off? Quick. Can I use your phone?
Yeah. You're good,
Appreciate
you're good.
it. Okay, so
Way at the bottom.
do you have advice for believers who are interested in your field or but are hesitant to take the first step?
Yes. This field is not oversaturated. There are so many people out here that need someone to talk to. Most of the time, it's really just somebody needing to bounce ideas off of me. In God, you have what you need. You have what you need. If you're accepting of the Holy Spirit, if you've asked that, you have what you need. And sometimes it's hard for us to recognize, or it's hard for us to say, okay, is this my idea or is this a God-given idea, right?
Exactly.
And so to me, it's great to have someone that is in faith to bounce ideas off of, because they can help you recognize what is of God and what is not, right? And just continue to read your word. I promise you, stuff in the Bible. The Bible is literally the book of instructions
It
before
has
leaving this
everything.
earth. It's
Everything.
like, my goodness, it has. It's the recipe for every single thing, right? There are scholarships, there are grants out there for people who want to get into this field. Look it up. If you have any problems or you need some more information, I am a host of resources. So you guys can reach me at clearthegray.com. You can follow my Instagram at clearthegray_coaching, or you can call or text me at 678-665-1835, and I can help you out.
Yep, and
And I have a
post-
million people text
for
you.
real. I'm sure you'll be in the comments when this goes live, but make sure that you just put that in the comments. We'll put it up on the screen and everything like that. And y'all have any final remarks?
So there's a degree associated with the life coaching.
So there's a certification.
Okay.
And then there's also, which I'm working on too, I forgot to mention, a mental health advocate. Well, actually, this one is a Christian mental health advocate certification that I'm getting so that I can help the people within the church. Because a lot of times we're afraid in church, we're afraid to talk to someone about mental health or any mental health issues that they're going to. And honestly, statistics show that people that are out in the community that may not be saved, they are quicker to go to a church than they are to go to an actual psychiatrist or doctor to talk to somebody about mental health. And so I want to be one of those resources for them.
That's good. We have a couple of other life coaches, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I know one for sure.
And
I think we have like
So-
3 or 4. There's a couple. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
couple.
my mom's
so I
a
just
life
want to be
coach,
one of the
too.
people that
You
add
gotta
on.
tag
yeah,
your mom,
and
man.
if y'all can't reach them, you can hit me up. 100 I do you 150 an hour. You know, if you just need somebody to listen to you, I'll listen to you.
Need somebody to tell you the truth.
Exactly. But with that being said, great episode today. Thank you again for coming
Of
on.
course, anytime.
State your brand and your social media tags real quick. And for the people out there in Facebook land.
Again, it's Clear the Gray, where your future comes into focus. My Instagram is clearthegray_coaching, and my website is www.clearthegray.com.
And can they take a look at your shirt real quick?
Right. Yeah, she almost the sweatshirt.
Okay.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And while we're showing people sweatshirt, we also got our Impact Podcast.
Impact
merch.
Podcast.
The other week, you see on the back, it's
That's
fresh.
right.
We want some orders in.
And
So-
don't
Absolutely.
forget his fancy sleeve
Yeah,
that he
Right.
didn't tell nobody
nice
else about.
logo, the
Right.
nice banner we got back
Look at
there.
it.
This bit made by who? We Impress.
We impressed.
We Impressed by
And then
Sister
brother
by Missionary
Steve
G.
Ferguson.
Brother Steve Ferguson. Y'all can put y'all's shout outs in the comments. We appreciate y'all for that. If y'all want any merch, just let us know and we'll get it. Any questions for future episodes, we're still taking them every
Yes.
week. Just put the questions. We'll try to put them into an episode. We're excited to get some more content out for you guys. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram at @OneChristianKennedy, or send me a friend request here on Facebook, or follow me here on Facebook. And I know her is on Instagram is _Mani, right?
Yes.
You can spell it out for everybody.
Yes, MAHNI. Go in there, you'll see all my tags. Yes.
You don't know my Instagram, man?
Man,
It's all good.
not sure how
got
to
you.
It's all
spell it.
good.
You want me to introduce you?
I'll do it. It's okay. It's official. Nuriyah. NURIAH.
Cool. And make sure you follow him.
He's on
Driz,
Facebook,
aka
YouTube.
Driz. He has some nice music. He's on what? Spotify too, right? Or
Not
SoundCloud. No,
Spotify.
SoundCloud.
I'm on YouTube for now. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not fancy. I'm not fancy yet. Okay.
Nah.
We're working to get there
He
though.
gonna get
He's
there.
good.
He
He's
gonna
doing
get there.
great
Yeah,
already.
he gonna get there, man. Great music.
I'm on the Chitlin circuit right now. So.
Driz.
Yep. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Make sure you tune in for any of the Rockstone posts or live streams. We got Wednesday night Bible study for you guys online, in person. We got Friday conversations with God. Make sure y'all come out to the building too. Until it's going to be every Friday until Good Friday. So make sure y'all come out to the building for that. We'd love to have y'all here praying for you. And someone can come get delivered, freed, and receive the
Yes.
Holy Ghost. And, of course, come to Sunday morning worship. We'd love to see you here. Feel free, even when you come here, we'll come up to you, we'll greet you, and we'll
Right.
be like, hey, I'm Christian from the podcast. You know how it is. So you know how it is. But we'll love to see you here in the building. And yes, y'all have anything else
I
y'all
was
would like
gonna
to say?
just if you have any prayer requests or any questions, you can message us on Facebook Messenger, or you can DM any of us, and we'll go ahead and add that, because we're still wanting to get that one podcast show where we have all your questions and we can answer them.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We can't do it without you guys. If we only have 5 questions, it's gonna be hard. We're gonna have like a 5-minute episode. So
Yeah, if we can get like a solid like 4 more questions,
yes, a
Yeah.
solid 4
we,
more
we
questions.
can get a whole episode out of it.
Yes, and like he said last week, if you don't want people to know that it was you asking the question, we'll make it anonymous. If you do want a shout out, we'll give you a shout out. And if you have a topic that you want us to make the questions for, like if you say you want us to talk about a certain subject,
Yeah,
we will do that as well. But we love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you follow Rockstone Church. You share, like, and send this live stream. I challenge y'all to send this live stream to someone right now. At least 1 or 2 friends. I'll wait. I'll give you 5 more seconds. Have you done it yet? Okay, you should have had time now.
Our producer's laughing.
Yes, but thank you guys. We're going to get out of here. And again, impact the future by pointing to the cross. Come on.